Hey, what's up there, Tor 904? It's Sunday, it's Easter. It's very late in the day because I had a bunch of people in the house. I did some smoking today. I smoked some pork loin. I smoked 2 chickens. Gracie made some pork shoulder in the crock pot, and we had a bunch of people bring over other food, and it was great. We had a great time. Always good to get around family on Easter or any other holiday as far as that's concerned. But wanted to try to get some work done on the van today. I bought a couple speakers. I'm not real happy with the way the stereo sounds in the stock ProMaster speakers or whatever. Everything I've read, the speakers are pretty cheap. And I didn't go crazy, but I did buy some speakers to replace it. So we're going to do that today. I got a 6.5 speaker that I'm putting in the front doors. And on this van, that's the only speakers that's in the van is the front area. So I actually bought that match these same set 6x9 speakers that I'm going to mount in the back doors. So we're going to do a little sound test today. I don't know if I'm going to get both sets of speakers done today or not, but we're certainly going to try. So we're going to do a sound test with the stock stereos speakers that are in the front now. I'm going to replace the front speakers. We'll do another sound test. That way you're comparing apples to apples. We're going to use the same song so you can hear the difference. And then I'm going to also put in rear speakers, and then we'll do a sound test with that and see what it sounds like with the rear speakers. And when we get to that point, I'll talk about it because there's a couple things you got to do because the stereos actually turn the rear speaker function off. And there's actually an outlet down here in the B pillar, so we're going to be tapping into that and running wires back to the back to hook the back speakers up, but we'll get to that later. So now let's do a sound check. This is at 16 level for the volume. Not bad. I mean, it's okay, you know. I mean, you could rock this if you wanted to, you know what I mean? But it's just not quite there, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna take this band to the next level, I don't think these speakers are going to do it, but you got some high tones in there, some mid tones. I don't know about the bass. Maybe I could have picked a better song. Not bad. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, let's go switch out the front speaker and see how it turns out. Okay, so if you watched the video the other day where I took the door panels off to do the sound deadening, you should know, or maybe you didn't see it, to replace the speakers on this is actually going to be pretty easy. You don't have to take the whole door panel off. It's just a matter of popping this the cover off like so, and then basically you've got 3 screws and 1 plug. That's pretty much it. As you can see, I don't know, let me grab the other speaker. So as you can see, like, this is the factory speaker, not much to it, pretty basic, pretty cheap, just plastic. And then this is the new speaker that's going in, much heavier duty. This is all metal where this is plastic. This came with a connecting wire. I actually went in, soldered these wires in to the base, and then went ahead and put adapters here. So what I'll have to do is cut this connector off and put some connection leads that I can hook this into, and then it's just a matter of mounting this speaker up in there and, you know, getting it to the point to where you can screw it in. So we should be good. Okay, so when you take the old speaker out, this was the connector end to it, and basically I just cut the wire because this connector doesn't have a receptacle on the other side. I've already soldered 2 wires here with a positive and negative, and if you look at the 2 wires, there's one of them has a stripe on it. I can't tell you what color it is because I'm colorblind, but I know one of them has a stripe on it, which means it's the positive, and the other one is, you know, the negative. At least that's the way I understand it. But whatever the case, I'm hooking it up to the same lead line on here that has the stripe. So you go stripe wire to stripe wire, and then solid wire to solid wire, so whichever the case may be. But yeah, and then I've got some heat shrink here that once I connect these up, I'm going to heat shrink it, you know, keep these from driving down the road and then start to touch. You don't want that to happen because it'll short out, and it'll short out your speaker. So anyways, moving on to the driver's side after this. Okay, Tour 904, so I just replaced both the front speakers. We're going to play the same song at the same volume, and let's hear what it sounds like. You let me know, is this better, worse, or nothing at all? Probably gonna have to wait where I can hear them back to back. I mean, I don't know. I think this sounds better. Well, maybe it's because I spend money on new speakers. I don't know. Good question. Maybe I'll put a poll out there. Everybody can tell me which sounds better: the old speakers that came with the van, or the new speakers that I just installed. Now these aren't expensive speakers. I mean, I only paid like, I don't know, 35 bucks for these. But when you're looking at the 2 of them, the quality of one to the other, to me, seemed a lot better. But let's listen a little bit more. You jam with this. I think when I get the rear speakers in there, we'll really be able to tell a huge difference. Maybe the front speakers won't make a huge difference, but I think adding rear speakers is definitely going to make a difference. And they're all the same speaker system. So just want to keep that continuality with it. All right, check back with me when I get the back one. Okay, guys, it's time to hook in the rear speakers. So this is what's called the B pillar. Front one up there is A pillar. This is the B pillar. There's a bottom cover down here. If you follow this light gray down, there's a black cover down here at the bottom. I've actually already taken it off, but there's 4 screws. 2 here, 1 here, and then 1 on the other side. You take these screws off, and this cover comes off. There's actually 2 little push pins that snap in to help hold it in. And then let's move this on around here so you can see. This is what the plugs look like, and this white plug at the very bottom that's got 6 holes in it is the actual plug for the rear speakers. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop this plug out of its harness. So, try to move the camera in here a little closer. If you park this out, you can see there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wires. And then following the diagram that I found, put my readers on here. One is for a sub. These two greens right here are for the right speaker, and these two orange ones back here are for the left speaker. So I'm actually going to cut this plug out and put some connectors on here and run the wires to the back. Hold on tight for a second, and maybe I'll put it on time lapse. So once I get that in there, then I'm going to actually run the wire up and around to the very back. Okay guys, back here to the back of the van. I'm actually going to mount these speakers eventually right up here in this back cavern. But to run the wires in, I'm gonna run from the backwards back to the front rather than run from the front to the back. I think it'll be easier. So I actually got to fish this wire down through here, and then I'm gonna pull this door a little closer. See this track right here? You can see there's already some wires running through this little channel that runs all the way into here and into the body of the van. I'm going to take this loose and actually run a second set of speaker wires through this channel here into here, and then I'll run it up and all the way back up towards the front of the van. So okay guys, so I got the rear speakers wired up last night, and I went to record this part last night, and the battery on my camera ran out again. I guess I left it on during the process of wiring everything up, but I went through the process last night. Basically the head unit here that comes with the factory has the rear speakers turned off because, you know, they don't install it, but we've gone through the process of wiring up the rear speakers to make them work. So last night I went through this process. Anyways, if you press the audio button, now you'll see where it says balance and fade. Before it just said balance, no fade. So that lets me know that they're hooked up. But I did run into a problem last night. I'm going to go through the process right now for you. So to program the unit, so it will see the rear speakers, this radio and media button, these two buttons, you press those simultaneously at the same time, and also press the browse enter button, and you press and hold for 5 seconds. We'll do that right now. Okay, so basically it says we're going into engineering mode, and then to get out of engineering mode, it just tells you you have to do the radio, media, and browse button for 5 more seconds. to get back out of this mode. All right, so basically once you're in this engineering mode, you go down to where it says AUD engineering mode, so audio engineer menu. All right, so last night the rear left and the rear right said not coded, but I went through the process. You gotta, let's see here, you gotta go over and you go to car layout. So when you go to car layout, originally it would say 6, so it'd say 6 and then in parentheses 0x06, and what you have to do is add 2, so you would say 1 2, so now I'm at 10, but I don't want it at 10, I want it at 8. But when I did this originally, this is what it looked like, 6 0x6, and then you just hit 1 2, so you're adding 2 speakers to it, so it's 8 0x8, and then you have to go hit the down button and hit OK, and then you just got to go out of it. Now you see where these all say OK. Last night the rear left and right said not coded, and I couldn't figure it out. I went through the process several times. I got frustrated with it, turned it off, went inside and started doing some research, and from what I understand, you actually have to turn the radio and the car off for at least a minimum 15 minutes, and somehow or another it resets itself and reprograms itself. So when I came out this morning and checked it, as you can see, everything was okay. So I'm going to go back out of this mode now since we're done. Hit these 2 buttons and this one for 5 seconds. And then we're out. And like I said, the way that you can check to see if it's showing the rear, or if it's registering the rear speakers, is hit the auto button. And if it says balance and fade, then you're good to go. So hold on tight and we'll do another sound check with the same song that we were playing from yesterday with the rear speakers hooked up, and see how it sounds. Okay guys, so I've got everything set up. Just to take a look, this is where I'm going to be mounting the rear speakers. Like I said, I've just got them stuck up there with the magnets. They're basically holding them into place right now. I'll make an insert that'll cover this back top thing, and this will be inset in. It'll look real nice and clean when I'm done with it. But for purposes of the audio check, I've got them hooked up for now, and we'll play the same music that we were playing before at the same volume level and see what it sounds like. Sounds a lot better, and this wasn't a real expensive upgrade either. Turn this off so you can hear me. So anyways, I didn't spend a lot of money on these speakers. I actually just got them at one of the auto parts stores here locally, because I didn't want to wait 3 or 4 days for Amazon. I had a free day to do something. I think I spent $35 on the pair for the front and like $40 for the pair in the back. There's 6.5 inch speakers that I basically replaced the factory speakers in the front, and then I went with 6x9s in the rear. I guess that's why they were a little bit more, but for and then some wire, and connectors and so forth. So I mean, really, for less than, or right, maybe like $100, I think it's a substantial upgrade in the van. So if you're looking for some cheap upgrades, then I would definitely recommend this. It really wasn't that difficult to do either. Anybody could do it. Anyways, a couple other things I wanted to go over that I use for wiring them up. Klein tools. This crimper is awesome because it's already labeled out. You got your red, blue, and yellow for your different types of or your different sizes for your wire connectors, and it's ratcheting, so you don't have to sit there and try to, it like literally just ratchets all the way in, and when it gets to the end it releases. Another really nice thing that I got with Klein too is this wire stripper. This thing's amazing. If you've ever done it the old school way, this thing's amazing. You literally, it's got little teeth in here, and whenever you put the wire in there, this back part back here clamps down on the wire, and then see how it pulls it apart? So it actually clamps down, and when you pull it apart, it actually pulls the wire off. It's pretty neat. Here, I'll tell you what, I'll show you one. Right. So just for demonstration purposes, this is a 14 gauge wire. So I'm going to stick it in there, put it in the 14 gauge wire. I'm going to leave out a little bit, you know, so it's got enough. And it pops off just like that. Nice and clean every time. I'll do it again. Leave a little bit more out so you can see. Perfect. Man, I can't tell you how nice that tool is. If you've ever done a lot of wire stripping, if you're doing a lot of it for your van, I highly recommend this tool for the wire stripping, and the other tool, I'll set down here for crimping. It saves you so much time. I'll put links to both of these tools in the description so you can find them if you want to pick them up. Highly recommend it, and I can't wait. You know, I got a lot of wiring that I'm going to be doing on this van, and this is going to make it so much easier. So we'll see you tomorrow.